Hello, I'm Doris Isenaro, and today I'm going to talk the investigation created by me and my college that is called Low Planting Densities for Early Maturation of Maurita flexuosa (LF) for the Sustainable Management of Plantations in Alto Guayaga, Peru. This investigation is divided in 6 parts, as we can see in the presentation. Introduction. In Peru, the palm Naurita flexosa (LF), known as aguaje, is considered a species of greatest ecological, economic, and social importance in Amazon, not only because of their diversity of uses, but because in their natural state they form ecosystem known as aguajales that provide multiple ecosystem services, such as carbon sequestration. Despite its importance, this species is being threatened throughout the Amazon region, mainly due to poor fruit harvesting practice, which consist of cutting down female plants to obtain the fruit bunches by deforestation caused by the expansion of the agricultural frontier, with the aguajales being replaced by temporary rice, cacao, and coffee crops. Among the problems faced by the farmer in waiting to install this species is that the sexes cannot be defined until they reach sexual maturity. So there is a risk that there will be a large number of males on the plantation and it would be not profitable. Very little process has been made of the forestry of this palm, and there is not enough knowledge about the establishment and management. In this context, the University Nacional Agraria de la Selva, throughout the Professional School of Engineer in Renewable Natural Resources in 2007, installed in the Tulumayo plantation of M. fluctuosa in two systems and different densities of planting, with the aim of determining the sex percentage of the plants, the speed of maturation per plot, production of inflorescence and fruit and phenology, and thus know the silvicultural behavior that led to the management and sustainable use of the species. The study area, as we can see in the figure, was conducted at the Tulumayo Research and Production Center, La Divisora Annex, and Puerto Zúngaro of the National Agrarian University of the Jungle. Politically, it belongs to the Pueblo Nuevo district, Leoncio Prado province, Huánuco region, Peru. Ciptal has an extension of 460.99 hectares and is located within the middle basin of the Guayaga River, known as Alto Guayaga, at an altitude of 560 meters. Within this, until only the landscape is identified flight so slightly undulate relief, the maximum average temperature resisted in 2019 was 30.0 degrees Celsius and minimum was 20.5 degrees Celsius, with an average rainfall of 2,600 millimeters per year. The period of highest rainfall being between November and March. The zone is classified as tropical rainforest according to the system of classification of life zones processed by Holbridge. Methodology: Plantation establishment. The plantation of M. flexuosa were established in open fields in an area that formerly had a agricultural land use which is devoid of tree vegetation. The seed use of the plantation come from promising individuals identified by the same farmers without certain characteristics of fruit production and low bearing, collected in the area of Aucayacu, located 25 kilometers away with very similar characteristics of the study area. They were taken to a nursery of germination until they were planted of a period of 12 months. Finally, the seedlings were transplanted to the final field applying 2 kilograms of compost per hole, cutting them by plot, row, and plant for their respective monitoring and evaluation. The plantations were established in the different densities of sowing, which are described in the table 1. Here we can see the table 1, that is a description of the plots established with M. fructuosa in Ciplat Turumayo. Plantation management. After a month of establishing the plantation, the first general supervision was carried out observing the sanitary state of the plants. When dead individuals were found, they were recollected. The cleaning of the plots was done every 3 months during the first 2 years, guaranteed the survival of the plants. Later, it was done every 6 months, and considered it make it 1.5 meters planted around the plant by means of machete or use of a brush cutter. Of the fertilization of the plants, organic fertilization were used such as decomposed cattle manure and guano from the birds established in the islas of Peruvian coast, which were applied annually by means of crescent-shaped trench considering the projection of the canopies. The amount of fertilizer were increased according to the age of the plants. Regarding plant mortality, up to the age of 12 years, Parcel 1 had accumulated 12.7%, Parcel 2 60.9%, and Parcel 3 50.42%. Most of the plants died in their juvenile stage, while the rest were medically damaged. The present pest and disease in the plantation was negligible, proportions that were not important. However, in the last year evolution, 2 adult plants died due to the presence of caterpillars. Results and discussion. Maturation of plants and percentage of sexes. As we can see in the table 2, cumulative percentage of maturation of plants and percentage of sexes by plot, where F is adult female plant, M adult male plant, and J plant in juvenile stage. Production of inflorescence and bunches with fruit. Table 3 is a production columns indicate the average number of branches per female plant and the average number of inflorescences per male plant, where F, as we can see in the table, is an adult female plant and M an adult male plant. In the table 4, we can see examples of fruit bunch production per plant per year. Each individual is coded by plot row plant. We can see in this picture the precipitation and the month of in the back part because it's the penology of M. fructuosa. Conclusion. The establishment of plantation of M. fructuosa in open fields and low densities is a sustainable way to take advantage of this species. not only because it activates early production of fruit of met in growing demand in domestic and international market, but it facilitates harvest its fruit directly, annually, and increasingly for long periods. In addition, plantation in general contributes significantly to the conservation of species because their continuous production reduces anthropic pressures on the natural aguajales. Thus, the experience obtained in the different plots in Tulumayo can serve as civil-cultural base and fill the gaps in information about the establishment and management of Enfluxosa, thus guiding institutions and farmers in an Amazon to take the best decisions to domesticate this palm. Thank you.